Hello, my lovelies. Today is going to be a story time of my first time playing Dungeons and Dragons last night. I know this video isn't for everyone, but this is something I really like doing, so I wanted to just talk about it because yesterday was crazy. So without any further ado, grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's talk about it. Roll the intro. Welcome back. Our story begins with yesterday because I did not think at first I was going to be able to go because if you didn't see my community post, I was having really bad allergies. My eyes were watering, my nose was running. I felt awful. Like I had no energy or anything, but I looked in our cabinets because playing D&D is something I've wanted to do for the longest time. And so it really meant something to me that and our DM has had stuff ready where we were just waiting for a few people to finish up their character sheets. So this meant a lot to me. So I went into my cabinets and I found a single Claritin to try to help with these allergies. And I took it and I felt fine. So we went and our DM is my fiance's cousin's husband. He's married to my fiance's cousin, and she also joined us in another one of his cousins. And at first it was kind of rocky because we were just going over each other's character sheets and stuff, and we got to playing. And one of our party members has chosen to be chaotic evil, which is like the no thoughts, just murder type. And again, this was a couple of us's first time playing. So he decided to go off by himself. He considered murking some guards not 2 minutes into the campaign. So my fiance, who is also playing, his character decides to, kind of befriend this guy, the character that's just trying to go off by himself. So he kind of wrangles him in, drags him into the tavern, and my character, she's an elf, she's a ranger. She's already in there. She's just sitting in there. And then my fiance, his barbarian's weakness is ale, so our DM was having him get super drunk. He couldn't refuse a drink. So he was getting pretty lit. His barbarian was getting pretty lit until he picks up the chaotic evil character, whose name is Deathstalker, picks him up and slams him on a table. And that's eventually when I get up, my character gets up. And she's just like, oh shit, because now the barbarian is getting dragged to jail pretty much. We bargain with the barkeep and the constable of the town, and they're like, well, if you fight these bandits that have been bothering us, we might think about lessening your sentence and just making you pay a substantial amount of gold, which is what happened. We made the deal. We ended up going into the woods and fighting these bandits. And this is where things get super, super crazy. So all we have right now, we're level 1. This is a lot of our first, battle interactions. And, so there's just 4 humanoid bandits, but God, these guys were hard. These guys were super hard. And eventually, we're just throwing hits, we're missing, a lot of us are missing, and eventually, I'm the last one standing, pretty much. And I've already used my 1 cure wounds because I decided that I didn't know if anyone was going to be a cleric or not, and I didn't think to ask. So I chose cure wounds just in case. I had to be the pseudo cleric almost. And yeah, eventually that had to come to good use because one person was a death save away from just complete death on the first session in the first game. And I he thankfully rolled a natural 20 on his last death save, so he came back stable. But everyone was down except for me, so I used Cure Wounds on our, on my fiance's cousin's, well, the wife, on her, because there's only 2 of us girls playing, the rest are guys. And so I get her back up, so she calls in her familiar. The wolf is taking a beating. So, and this general guy, the commander of these bandits, has a super high HP, and then Deathstalker murks 2 of the dudes once he gets back up after his 2 failed death saves. He gets up, uses his javelin, smacks the guys upside the head, ends up sending their heads flying off their bodies, if you know what I mean. And thankfully that happened. Now, this was over the course of like a few hours, and these guys were tough. Like, we were trying to beat these guys up for like over 2 hours. So it was long, it was arduous. Eventually, we get everyone but the captain down, which caused me to have a breath of relief, because I did not like being the only person left. I didn't like it. I did not enjoy it. It was terrifying. And my bow was failing me. My dice were failing me. I kept rolling like 5s. And everyone is down around me. Basically, everything's relying on me. I feel like I'm failing. So when everyone got up and started fighting again, I was so happy that they, successfully rolled their death saves. Oh, especially after the close call of the Deathstalker guy. And I felt like I was failing. And then my fiance, the barbarian, comes in because the guy tries to run. This motherfucker tries to fucking run. This captain guy tries to fucking run. So he tackles him. And then I haven't gotten a single kill yet. And at this point, I have a personal vendetta against this dude for knocking out literally everyone I'm traveling with at the moment. And I now have a personal vendetta against this guy. And here's where it gets super crazy. You know how I told you my dice were failing me? When I went to make a headshot on him, I rolled 2, not 1, but 2 natural 20s. And I made the killing shot. I'm still reeling. I rolled 2 natural 20s. Even our DM was kind of mad at me. He was like, no freaking way. So he looks at my dice, and then he just looks at me in disbelief. Cause we all watch this roll. Like, we don't have like dice boxes. We're rolling it clearly in the middle of the table for everyone to see. And he's like, what? No, I cannot believe you did this. You did not do this to me. And I was like, I can't believe it either. I'm like holding my mouth like this. No, this is not happening. So I go to make the headshot, and I'm able to describe it and everything because he's basically dead. It was over 100. It was like over 100 points of damage because he doubles the max damage of, whatever it is when you make a critical hit, which is a natural 20. He doubles the damage, and it was like over 100 damage. Like, this dude was dead, and this was our hardest foe in this fight. So I shot him right through the eye socket at this point. I said I looked him straight in the eye, and I wanted to be the last thing that he's seen. So I shot him right through the eye as I'm staring this guy in the eye. It was so freaking amazing. This was wild. Like, I felt like I was failing the whole time. I was doing my best, and then this happened. And it was spectacular. It was amazing. I'm so still in disbelief that this happened. And we met up at his grandparents' house after we were done playing, and he comes up to the window. Our DM comes up to the window, and he's like, I still can't believe you fucking did that. How dare you? I was like, I didn't expect it to happen either. And he's like, you know that's some sheer dumb luck, right? And I'm like, I am fully aware of the situation. So, yeah, that was my first time playing D&D. Like, I've dabbled in it before, but I didn't really understand, so I started watching Critical Role, and I got into Critical Role, so my passion to play was, like, heightened even then. But after this, I want to play probably for the rest of my life. I love this game. This was fucking amazing. The highs, the lows, the anxiety, the excitement of making a good roll. Amazing. I still can't believe I rolled 2 fucking natural 20s for a headshot. Like, I can't. My girl, Raven Galmir, is a bad bee. That's all I'm gonna say, is my character is a bad bee. And that was some sheer dumb luck. So I just wanted to come on here and share this with you guys because this is something I'm really passionate about, is playing D&D and sharing that with you guys. That's why there's like a little D&D dice. Whenever I roll my intro, you see a little D&D dice, because all those things on my intro are things that I like, including books. The glasses stand for Harry Potter because that was the series that got me into reading, etc. and etc. The chopsticks stand for my anime. The camera stands for, you know, the pop culture and the celebrity news. You know what I mean? So that's why there's a D&D dice, because I've always wanted to make these kind of videos where I just talk about like the current campaign I'm in and crazy moments that happened. So yeah, that's what happened. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you feel like it, please hit me a like, maybe hit the subscribe button for shits and gigs. I don't just talk about this, I talk about books, TV shows, pop culture news, pop culture drama, anime. If you look around the channel, I'm sure you'll find something you like. That's why the name's The Random Show. It's random for a reason. For random stuff like this. So, yeah. If you have any crazy, like, D&D moments you want to share, let's talk about this in the comments. If you want to know more about D&D, I can give you some resources and stuff to watch to kind of be familiar with the game in case you're interested after watching this, if you're not interested already. So that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you have the best day. I love you all so much. Bye.